Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil. Does Biden know what
Immigration
Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at? I
Butthole.
think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem? Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news? It's a freaking inside job, man. The entire world's a stage and everything's fake. Unmute your mic, dude.
All right. Welcome back, people, to another episode of the Veritas Road. Carson back in my bedroom where I go night-night with John on the other end, not in his bedroom. He's in his special place.
I'm back in the studio.
Which is your special place, John. That's where you do special things, like a special boy.
Yeah.
You're in your special place.
All right.
Yeah, take it. Take that. Enjoy it. In your special place. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. Before we get started, go follow us. Hit the like button. Hit the follow button. Show us some love, as the kids say these days. Hit the like button. Hit the follow button. We're on all the socials. Thank you, Q. I have a queen bed, so I don't know how large you are. I am a normal-sized man, I feel like, so we can probably both fit on the bed together. If you want, come see me. I'm here. I'm ready for you, Dad. Go like and follow us on all the places. We're on Twitter. Go find us on Twitter. Go to the Patreon, because that's what John's on right now, guys. Go check out the Patreon. Get in where you fit in. If you want to support the show, like the show, want to support the show, all that good stuff. Go sign up. We're putting bonus content there. It's good. So go get a Patreon membership because it's good. Also go follow us on Twitter. We're at the Veritas Road Pod. We're at the Veritas Road everywhere else, including but not limited to all of the audio platforms. And so you can listen to us while you're ignoring the, you know what, Q? I understand that. I'm short, so I can sleep on a queen bed. And that's all I had to say about that. Yeah, I'm hoping one day I'll grow. I'm 32. I don't know if there's much chance of that, but I'm hopeful. I continue to hope and pray each and every day that I'll grow into a big boy like my mommy told me I would. So, go follow the show in all the places, guys. We're finishing up the studio. We should have more content coming soon that sucks less than these Tuesday streams. But one thing I want to mention, hell yeah, Neff Hunter. You know what? Fuck you, cute Neff Hunter. We're gonna spoon. We're gonna spoon. You can be the big spoon. I'm excited. I can't wait. My boss is 6'4". Anyway, we've got some stuff coming up. We've got more content. We're planning and working on. But we're in the middle of rearranging the studio. John is in there by himself. I don't know if he has pants on. To answer the question everybody was asking, I'm not sure if he has pants on. He may.
I do.
You do. We're all disappointed.
I'm a professional.
John. You could have. I think a professional wouldn't have pants on. That's the point we're trying to make here.
I have this nice standing desk now. I thought about doing this standing up, but I didn't.
Without pants?
I guess I could have.
Yeah. Standing. I also have a stand. Should we do a standing Tuesday stream sometime, buddy, where we're standing?
Well,
and would the people enjoy that?
Ideally, we'll be back in person soon. So
I mean, it's true. Yeah. So we're finishing up the studio, but we have
these.
I don't mind, but it is weird. It's weird talking to you through a computer screen. Yeah. I can't stay on point today. I'm struggling. We're gonna be. John has pants on, and we will be back in the studio soon. We're working on the studio, and we have more content coming. Go check out the Patreon because there is and will be more bonus content there. It's good. Go check that out. And we will be doing a show with the Berean Files guys. I believe that's May 18th. John, do I have that date right? May 18th?
Yeah.
Okay, so tune in. I believe that's at 7 Central Time. If you like to suck on penises, I believe that is 9 p.m. Eastern.
No,
Right?
it'd be
That's
8.
7 p.m. Eastern. Son of
It'd be 8 p.m.
no,
Eastern.
it's 8 p.m.
You
Eastern.
freaking
Gosh,
retard.
what did I say? It's been a day.
You said it's 9 p.m. Eastern, and then you said it's 7 p.m. Eastern, so you just missed on all fronts.
Yeah, none of that was right. 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's what that would be. So check that out. May the 18th will be, I assume, live with them. I think they record live. I'm not actually sure.
I'm not sure. It'll come out at some point though.
But it'll be out. And if you don't hear from us that night, it's because it wasn't live, people. So this week I've been thinking a lot about the garbage people that seem to make up America. And I feel like we're all to some degree garbage people, right? If you believe like mainstream history, it's this whole idea of like all the garbage white trash people came over to America to avoid. Maybe that's what was distracting me. I was thinking about sleeping with Neff on her, just spooning with a 6'4" hunk of man in a queen bed. I don't feel like there would be any room for activities with two men in a bed like that. And I like room for activities, so I'm not sure if that would work for me, but I'll think about it. But I've been thinking a lot about the garbage people that are those of us who call ourselves Americans this week, because I keep hearing sons of using phrases like pre-planned. I heard some absolute whore the other day, probably in her 20s, I guess, talking about like how somebody had pre-planned like an evil act. I was like, for me, there are a lot of signs that the end is near. Okay, there are a lot of signs of the apocalypse. You know, there's the blood moon we just had. There's the fact that Pete Hegseth is quoting Pulp Fiction and calling it prayer. There's the fact that Whoopi Goldberg is coming out saying she shouldn't be included in the Epstein allegations because she just hung out with him on a plane a couple of times. There's the fact that we're trying to bomb Iran for the 1,000th time, and there are all these talks about so-called nuclear war. There are a lot of signs that we're all to some degree, okay? But for me, nothing is worse than hearing middle-aged young urban professionals using full-on words like pre-planned when they're trying to sound intelligent. The word you're looking for there, you slut whore, is planned. That is the most redundant term I've ever heard in my life. People want to talk about society breaking down. I would rather lose the electric grid than hear somebody say pre-planned to me again. And I know that sounds pretentious and makes me sound like an ass, but what the fuck? You mean you planned something? What is pre-planning? Is that like when you thinking about taking a shit? You're not yet planning to take the shit, but you're considering planning to take the shit. Is that how that works, John? Is that how that would function?
I mean, yeah. To be fair, it's like you do that a lot.
It's like the whole
like the concept of like I'm thinking about doing something and I'm thinking about the action of doing or thinking about the plan of doing something and then I'll do it kind of thing.
I that would be the only legitimate way, I guess, to use that term. But people will say it like, "Did you pre-plan to do that?" No, I just planned to do that. You like, that makes me I turned into Sean Connery there for a second. That makes me so irrationally angry. That makes me feel violent towards women and children.
Like me with cyclist.
Yes, like you would. Every time John has ever seen a cyclist, he has like screamed and punched himself in the dick. He gets so angry. Like it's bad. Yeah. And I don't understand why, because sometimes people are on bikes outside.
They shouldn't be.
I don't see why that's such a point of anger and frustration for you. But you know, it is what it is.
Bicycles are not a legitimate form of transportation. It's a legitimate form of exercise, but not transportation. And I do not like the transportation cyclists. They make me angry.
So you're okay with some like 38-year-old man in those like tight shorts where like
I
you
mean,
can
no,
see,
I hate that as
you can
well.
see his
It's
dick
like
bulge
if you're
from
gonna
like
cycle,
8 miles
it's like
away.
wear normal clothes and don't be around people. But if you're gonna cycle, don't be around people.
I think you like the dick bulge. I think that's what you're saying. Is it you prefer the 54-year-old men that go cycling with their out to your casual plainclothes cycler going to work?
I mean, I can't stand them all.
If you had to pick one, John, which one would you take?
Oh, that's a tough choice.
Yeah, this is we're doing science here on the Veritas Road. We're trying to figure out which of these is less bad.
I guess the people going to work, just because it's like I don't have to see their dick. But I do hate it. I hate them all. They don't obey traffic rules and
hot
makes me
takes here on the Veritas Road, guys. So speaking of just dumb, I don't know how many folks have been in the media this week, but this is one of those things. Apparently, Timothée, how do you say his last name? Chalamet came out and said very offensively that ballet was dead, or that opera was dead, or something. And this has been, guys, we have a very well curated For You page here on the Veritas Road. It is conspiracy theories, schizophrenic people, and the occasional like post of the Iranian military talking about how much they hate the. We have a very carefully curated algorithm here. This is coming across my feed on our like show Twitter and Instagram pages. Yes, Q. Why is this making such a big splash in the media? Some from Hollywood said he thought ballet and opera were dead. I'm pretty sure the last opera somebody went to was Abe Lincoln, and we all know how that worked out. Like, I don't understand why this is. Go ahead, play this video real quick, John. This is the dumbest thing to have all over social media. Good volume.
There it is.
Thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore.
Go back to the beginning. That only cut in like.
I want to be working in ballet or opera or things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there.
Those comments at a variety
CNN and then, guys, the drama continues. If you'll pull up the next article, the drama continues where certain members of the Hollywood elite felt like they needed to respond to such serious allegations that this young homosexual had to share. And so the trans wife of Hollywood producer and actor Seth MacFarlane, so the Charlize Theron, who I'm pretty sure has the pink, said, I hope I run into him, because those remarks were reckless. Those remarks were reckless and shouldn't be shared. This has been all over the damn internet. And I realize this is the kind of thing we usually discuss here on our Tuesday streams, but hey, how creepy does she look in that photo? Look at that. She looks like a slightly emaciated trans zebra. If you tried to dress a zebra up in lingerie and have it read to children, that's exactly what one would look like. Is Charlize Theron in this photograph? And if you're ever wondering what kind of children pedophiles are raping and what kind of person grows up to be a pedophile, somehow that photo of Timothée Chalamet there is both. That is both the raped and the rapee in one photo. And I find that impressive. Anyway, what gets me is how stories like this, commentaries like this, end up taking over the entire, like, lexicon's not the right word, but the entire landscape of the media for a period of time. And what I don't get, because I've been thinking about this from like a propaganda perspective lately, and what I don't get is what use this really has. Because for me, and maybe this is me living in a a kind of a conspiracy theory, echo chamber, like truth or community type echo chamber, but it seems like people stopped paying attention and kind of giving any consideration to this type of shit a long time ago. And so the fact that they still run this nonsense from time to time, I just find confusing. Like, what is the, because I don't think anybody who has made it so far as to listen to our Tuesday stream, I don't think anybody who's thinks anything about like this taking over the news media is organic or like natural in any way. These people are way too famous to have their own attitudes, ideas, or probably, soul. And so it makes me wonder what the purpose of pushing this in people's faces, smacking people in the face with it really is. Because like I get the Iran stuff. I get trying to make people afraid, to try to create like false flag events, to try to drive events one direction or another. But what I don't understand is what purpose this serves other than to try to capture the attention of girls whose fathers left home when they were far too young and are going to go get pregnant in a parking lot probably later this week. Like, I feel like those are the only people paying attention to this. So what's the point? Like, those people were already wrecked anyway. I just don't get it. I don't get it. John, I mean, seriously, this is a legitimate question. What the hell kind of purpose do you think this serves? Other than just to fill people's minds with shit? That's the only one. And maybe that's the only thing that's really driving like news event. You can't even call this a news event. This is two people at the Olympics screaming at one another. It's like watching two Down syndrome people smack each other in the face with hot dogs, which I would love to see, by the way. That would be a great YouTube video. But that's exactly what this is. It's just folderol. You were about to say something.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially, I think I've made this analogy before, but like a lot of these, if you've ever watched movies and like paid attention to the background, if there's like a news article or a newspaper clipping, it's always just like filled with nonsense. Is like the little filler stories.
Oh, like the background nonsense, like wingdings or whatever.
Well, yeah, and like if you ever like take an effort to like pause it and like read like a newspaper article that's just sitting in the background of the shot, if you actually read it, it's just nonsensical and I kind of view this stuff as like that's what that is. He's like, you have the main story that's like going through the whole, like, right now it's like, Iran and all that. Like, that's the main story. Yeah. And then like what people are focusing on, and they just put like nonsensical in the background. Almost, I think, a little bit to just kind of probably just mock people who are actually like paying any type of attention to, everything else. Just to be like, hey, we're just putting this out there just for the fun of it. And like, I think it's just as simple as that. It's just somebody or some AI algorithms having a fun time putting out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's as good as explanation as any, man. Like, I can't think of a better reason for them to try to run stories like this. Who is this in the chat, John? Can we fix that lady in the YouTube chat? Can we do something about that? Yeah, like I can't think of any other rational reason than it's just background, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just more to try to like push people in some kind of like, I don't know, frantic direction. The way, like, we've talked about this a little bit on the show, but like the way modern music is tuned to like 440, where it's essentially like that frequency is like borderline painful to the human mind, the human brain. Like those wavelengths, they tend to foster like anxiety, fear, confusion. And I wonder if it's more of a drive to push that out there, like kind of like you're saying, like we're just going to try to get as much nonsense in there as you can to make it seem busy, to put as much obnoxious background noise in there as possible to just stress people out,
Yeah. It's the vertical chat now. Someone was just spamming in there. Yeah, I think you're right. That's kind of, it's just like this background filler stuff that no one's really paying attention to. It's just trying to make, this whole cycle kind of look a little bit more legitimate. It's just like supporting the main story that people are paying attention to. And if you actually pay attention and read some of it, it's very nonsensical. Because we did one the other week, and I can't remember what it was, but it was even more than this. I'm not going to take the time to look through our.
You got me excited.
But yeah, that's you're right on the money there of like what this is.
Yeah, and I don't have the energy to talk about it anymore. So let's move the hell on. So, Iran. Everybody loves talking about Iran these days, and you know what, guys? We're not going to talk about it for that long because I'm tired of talking about it. But I feel like we have to address it. Trump has accused Iran of numerous ceasefire violations as deadlines loom.
It's scary. I'm terrified.
Exactly. I am literally about to shit myself over here. Now, what I love about this is in this news story, they talk about how like Trump has to like he needs to see some better from Tehran, what is that, the capital of Iran, right? Tehran. That's confusing. I don't like that name. But they're talking all about that and like how JD Vance is going to go over and he's going to negotiate with the Iranians in Tehran, and he's going to get us a good deal because Trump is the master of the deal, and so he's going to send his number one JD Vance over there to apprentice the shit out of them and tell them they're fired. And we're gonna get a good deal from Iran. What I love about this article is it says the U.S. Navy fired on some tanker. I don't even know what that is in the Arabian Sea, disabling its engines and later seizing the. We're doing pirate shit again, and I like that. We started taking over drug vessels in the Atlantic off the coast of Venezuela, and now we're like scimitar in your teeth, boarding ships in the Arabian Sea. I don't even know where the hell the Arabian Sea is, guys. I didn't know there was water in Iran. I just imagined it's the one giant desert full of this. And so I didn't even know there was water there. But apparently, we're doing pirate shit in Iran, and I love that. I love that. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean out there. It's exciting. I say all that to say, how many people are out there actually paying attention to the Iran news trends anymore? The only thing I can think of, the only reason for me to pay any level of close attention to it is to at least have some idea like what type of shit might be coming down the pipe. Like all this Iran stuff seems to be related to manufactured energy crisis. Like everybody's been talking about the whole energy crisis thing. And the big question, I'm posing a lot of questions tonight. Posing a lot of questions tonight. And
Q is the new chat moderator.
Dude, I would love Q, can we enlist your services as the new chat moderator? Because that would be my favorite kind of bouncer. Dude, that's a bouncer just like with a full-on erection fighting people and throwing them out the door with a full-on erection at the center. Like that's the kind of bouncer I want, okay? Throwing me out with a hard-on. Anyway, jeez. I wonder who is still paying attention to this Iran. I wonder why we're still running these type of stories, if not to simply like tell people what's on the way. And the other thing I wonder is like what it's like a chicken or an egg type moment. Is all this Iran energy crisis discussion, is that simply a sign of the times? or are people generating that those types of circumstances simply by buying into and paying attention to the propaganda? I wondered the same thing back in 2020. Like, is all the shit coming down the pipe, is that just a sign of the times we're in, or do people giving attention and giving focus and giving their time and giving their energy to this, is that the main driver of these events? And quite honestly, like, I'm not sure. My best guess is the closest to reality we're going to get there is that it's, and I hate to say this because it sounds like a cop out answer, but like it kind of is a little bit of both. We're going to get this propaganda coming down the pipe, and the way that comes to fruition is by people worrying about it, people paying attention to it, people buying into it, and then the people who are easy to control start to behave as if it's the case. And then as a result of those people behaving according to the propaganda, then the people who aren't as easy to control start to see that around them and then start paying more attention to that propaganda. And then there's a domino effect from there as you slowly, herd the sheep one way or another.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me. I don't know that that's true, but I feel like 2020 is a good example of the way that can go. We're like, we're gonna fish a lure out there. We're gonna cast a lure, see what all bites, and then we're gonna use the stuff that bit to catch some more shit and bigger shit. Yeah. And then we're gonna recast that and catch them up. I'm not a fisherman, obviously, but we're gonna use the minnow we caught to catch a bigger fish. For me, that seems to be the way a lot of this propaganda works. Is they'll get the devoted Fox News dad, they'll get Mimi, who does nothing but swallow CNN commentary all day, and all she does is watch Bob Barker and hear the odd news story. Like, Bob Barker's dead. That is such an outdated reference. Goodness, dude. That is the oldest I've felt in a long time. Is it Drew Carey doing The Price is Right now?
I think so.
Right? Who would have called that? And Drew Carey. But it catches those people, and then it's like a trickle-down effect from there, right? Like,
yeah,
this is a line of thinking.
I mean, not really. It is, you're always going to get both, because it's like people are, free will people. They have the ability to make choice and to, drive the narrative. You have to manipulate people, into consenting to it.
Yeah.
So, if you don't consent to it, then it doesn't happen. So it's like, that's why they have to, go about it this way. And like a lot of the, specifically like with the Iran crap, what you're seeing is like, they're trying to like give justification for whatever kind of global crisis, global air quotes.
Yeah,
but
manufactured.
Whatever manufactured crisis that they're going to kind of bring about. Because it's like, you look at this article, is like they just hit so many great little buzzwords that you like, ceasefire, Strait of Hormuz, Iran ceasefire,
deadline.
Pakistan talk, like, it's just these little manipulation buzzwords and seeds in people's brains that like, oh, there's some crisis that's going on, halfway around the world, and then can pop off, and now I'm having to pay $10 for gas, and can't turn my lights on, and then like that's normal. That's just how it goes. Right, so it's like they're just trying to see, some form of justification for that.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense.
Yeah,
you really awkwardly trailed off there. All right,
yeah.
So that was
sorry, sorry, I got to reading this. Sorry.
Okay. That was a stopping place. All right.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna be that was an autistic moment. So.
That was full on. Guys, new segment at the end of the show, by the way. I'm excited that will have to do with that. Anyway, you're right, John. Like, it does seem to be like they need some people to start consenting, and then that kind of drives the engine from there. It's like it's like the coals on the fire type thing in a steam engine. Boy, am I not full of useful metaphors tonight. Bob Barker, steam engines. What the hell?
Barker's been dead for like a decade,
dude. I'm. Yeah, it's we're not. We're gonna make it through this stream tonight, okay? And next week will be better. But it's been a week, boys and girls, and it's only Tuesday. And that's all I have to say about that. So this is the main thing I wanted to talk about tonight, because I'm curious if you've looked into this at all since we talked about it, John. And I'm curious to know, chat, if you aren't paying attention, pay attention now, because I want to know what all of you sons of bitches think about this. There has been a lot of Twitter talk in the conspiracy pages. A lot of Twitter talk in the conspiracy. You know, Neff Hunter, I should have pulled something like that.
We watched that already.
We did.
We did that.
He said again, John. He said again. Roll around again.
If I can find it, yeah.
We're maybe see if you can find that. We'll end on that.
Yeah. I'm looking for it.
So, what the hell is? I got distracted by the amputees.
Hey, sorry, you're not.
I love an amputee.
You're going to the next thing on the Google Doc.
Yes. There's been a ton of Twitter talking about this. There's been a ton of Twitter jib jab, chit chat, arguing about this. So, some congresswoman, go ahead and pull that article up, John. Some congresswoman came out and said that everybody should read the Book of Enoch. I can't remember what her name was, John. That's not. I'm not seeing the article. I don't know if you have your window.
This is
pulled, but who was Anna Luna, Paulina Luna, whatever she goes by. I can't remember. Doesn't she go by Paulina Luna? I feel like I've heard
it's all
that.
three. She's one of those 3 name people.
That no one should be. All the serial killers are given 3 names. Okay, John Wilkes Booth, like Lee Harvey Oswald, Jack the Ripper, three words in his name. Who else? Those are the only 3 I can think of. But all the serial killers have 3 names. So all the famous killers have 3 names. Anyway,
hold up. Are you saying Jack the Ripper's his second name is The?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
That's the logic. Shut the fuck up, John. Yeah, it was the only other thing I could think of. Sirhan, yeah, that's 2. I don't think that logic holds up.
Okay.
Anyway, this lady was apparently on Rogan and came out and said she thinks that UFOs might be interdimensional beings and that they might be something other than what people say they are. Now, I don't know how much everybody else has been paying attention to the media, but we've heard a lot on this wavelength from just like government officials as of late. It's like the main thing they seem to want to leak information about is like Obama saying the first thing he asked about was the aliens, and then we have alien craft, and then you got Trump coming out and talking about the aliens, and then JD Vance, and now Anna Paulina Luna or whatever her name is. Like, this shit's everywhere. And so during that conversation, which I did not watch this, so this did not come firsthand. She says to what's his name, the little thumb looking man, Joe Rogan, that she has some questions about why the Book of Enoch was not included in the Bible. And then from this discussion, it seems that all of the autistic and schizophrenic people, myself included, flock to Twitter to let all of us know that the Book of Enoch is a psyop. And the logic behind it, I guess, being because there seems to be so much government attention on disclosure and aliens, and like as an outgrowth of that, also the Book of Enoch, like they're mentioning that the Book of Enoch must inherently be part of some kind of psychological propaganda operation. It's the best way I know how to couch that and try to like steelman it. But for me, that just seems like kind of a baby in the bathwater type of situation, which I know these people love to throw babies out. That's like one of their favorite things. But I just don't buy this whole idea. And maybe it's the part of me that still wants to cling to the idea that when I wake up in the morning, like the world's not going to be just completely and utterly. Maybe it's that part of me that holds on to this idea that not everything that's ever mentioned in the mainstream media, not every person who becomes even the slightest bit famous, that not every person who experiences even the slightest bit of success is some kind of psychological operation, is controlled opposition, is a CIA operative. To me, that seems a little. Now, is this senator lady probably some kind of weird, creepy CIA? Sure. But to take that small discussion and extrapolate from that because this senator mentioned this on Rogan, the whole thing, the whole concept must be some kind of psyop seems insane to me. It's this, I don't know, like it's this weird, seemingly overarching theme with people probably not too dissimilar from me who spend too much time going forward and looking into this to where you reach a point where you look at everything and you're like, son of a bitch, did they get me again? I swear I had my pants on this time and they ripped them off again. What am I going to do? It keeps happening. To me, that seems a little insane. John, what are your thoughts on this? Chat, I'm going to catch up on all the things people said. John, thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a lot. So, in addition to this, I've seen a lot of people throw out, the idea that since manuscripts of First Enoch were discovered with the Dead Sea Scrolls in 1947, given how sketchy year 1947 was with the foundation of Israel, it has to be linked to some type of, Jewish psyop. And I think the whole thing kind of does, as you say, it just logically doesn't hold up. Because it's like, first and foremost, it's like, get out of the way that like First Enoch existed well before the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls. It was a part of the Ethiopian tradition for, 1,500 years. It was a part of, the early church tradition, as like early church fathers all referenced it and studied it. I don't think that like that aspect of it has any bearing on if like it's valid or not. And I don't think that like, having it being talked about so much in like mainstream has any bearing on its validity at all. Is like you can have people draw false conclusions about a thing and that thing still be true, right? And you look at people like Tucker Carlson, Candace, right? A lot of them are just very useful idiots, is that they'll probably be seeded a little bit of truth and then they're not right intelligent enough, don't have the wisdom, don't have the discernment enough to actually make a correct interpretation and a correct assumption about the information that they're given.
Yeah.
Right. And they have massive freaking platforms. So it's like they'll, push out that, that out to the masses and other people will fall for it, because it's like they view these people as like smart, intelligent truth seekers. So it's like that logic doesn't hold up. Right. And then thirdly, and this was the biggest point that I got on Twitter and got in this argument a little bit. Thirdly, like, let's just say, First Enoch is a psyop. That doesn't change like the story of the divine interaction between, the interaction between divine beings and human women to create the Nephilim at all. That idea is found in the canonical Bible, right? That is the correct way to read Genesis 6, 1 through 4, right? That's correct way to read Numbers chapter 13, 33. Like, you cannot take that out of the Bible. Like, that is not dependent on First Enoch to validate it. So I don't really see the point in this whole argument.
Yeah, I mean, me either. And what I find weird about it is the way that people seem to be so okay with isolating some of these certain, it's like weird cognitive dissonance, because the fact of the matter is, like, sure, it's kind of strange that Disclosure and the Book of Enoch have seen this like sudden surge of popularity, right? But at the same time, like, if your argument for, hey, they've started talking about it on, whatever platform, it's being widely talked about in the media, is if that happening is problematic, if the fact that shit in that showed up at a weird time, is problematic, then books people would never question, like the canonical Bible. We've got Trump alleging to be Christian. We have his like spiritual advisor reading passages from the Bible. If that's true, then are you not questioning the entire Bible because they talked about it? It's weird that we're going to pick out this one circumstance and say, well, because she talked about this on a show and it was related to disclosure, it must be a psyop. It's some insane schizo shit. Yeah. And what I hate to see in a world in a community where I feel like most people are really just looking for like honest, actual like truth. And again, I've talked about this more lately than I think I ever have. But like the whole reason we named the show what it is, like the Veritas Road, the Truth Road, is like this whole idea of just searching for truth when all that seems to be out there is stuff that's trying to point you in the right direction, stuff that's trying to make it difficult for you to figure out just like what's at the bottom of all this stuff that's fed to us by the news or by school. Like what's at the bottom of it? What's at the bottom of all these who lie to me about like the Bible and spiritual, like what's at the bottom of all of this?
Yeah.
And what muddies the waters are people like us just assuming that, oh my gosh, they mentioned it on last week. It's got to be a side. Like to me, that's taking the needle too far.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's wrong to like, hey, if the narrative that, or if my worldview or if the narrative that I'm kind of putting out there aligns with people that I don't trust their ethos, it is reasonable to like reevaluate to make sure that like my narrative still holds up logically. That thought process is fine.
I think questioning's not a bad thing.
Yeah, like that thought process is fine, but it's unreasonable to go to the extent that like if these people are putting this out there, right, that just throws out the entire concept because like I said, these people can be wrong. They are wrong. Like, right? They don't, like freaking Anna Paulina, what's her face?
Anna Paulina Lopez.
I hate the three name people. She doesn't understand like First Enoch and the Story of the Watchers. She doesn't understand, as Still was mentioning in the chat, like how this story is pervasive in like so many other ancient myths, right? Yeah. She doesn't understand the context of Genesis 6:1-4, right? She doesn't understand really any of this. Is like, in all honesty, like for her is like she's probably seen First Enoch mentioned on Twitter, and she's like, ooh, that'll like stir up engagement, right? Yeah. Like that's probably the extent of it. And like, right, it takes it to a further narrative because it's like, now this can be manipulated into people who are actually trying to like look into the disclosure or whatever in a deeper level. But for her, it's like, she probably doesn't even understand any of this. It's just like, she lives in a materialistic kind of world and is like just trying to get it for materialistic gain. And it's being manipulated by people behind the scenes who actually understand, you know? So I don't think that it is reasonable to just kind of throw this completely out. And it's like, I've also seen the who would be like, well, it's not in the canonical Bible, it's not a part of authoritative scripture. Those people have come out of the woodworks too, right? With this,
I've noticed that.
I've seen a few. It's just they spring on an opportunity anytime that any type of extra canonical texts get mentioned in the mainstream to attack, to attack it. And that's, I don't know if you really have to spend a whole lot of time talking about how unreasonable that is.
Yeah, we don't have to get into that. It's a dumb discussion.
Just look into how the Bible was actually compiled, right? They didn't have any of this in the first 400 years of Christianity, and everybody had different perspectives of the Bible. Moving on. But yeah, it's like, I think taking that to such kind of an unreasonable conclusion, it doesn't invalidate the story. Like, the whole argument, is the story true?
Yeah.
Bar none. Like, is the story true?
Yeah.
That's where the argument is. And it's like, if you can't find a reason to hold that the story is not true, then what are we doing?
Well, like, yeah, I mean, and yes, you're correct. And it's that like weird old trope, like you can kind of manipulate anything for bad purposes. Even like people want to, this is part of my problem with people holding up the Bible like some kind of God. Like Satan in canonical scripture manipulates the Bible to try to tempt Jesus. Okay?
Yeah.
So we can't look at it as this like thing that is impossible to use for bad purposes, but that doesn't change the fact, like you're saying, that the story is true. The story is good.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the problem with this whole attitude, this whole like completely black and white attitude about good or bad, right? Because this Bible isn't this fully formed like holy sacrament that was handed down to us from heaven. It's not that's not the thing it is. It's just not. There are parts of the story that kind of are that represent that, like their concepts and things about like the Creator's love for His people that are certainly like I would consider that like that holy sacrament, that holy thing that came down from heaven, that is a part of like who we are in our journey. But the thing that is not that thing. That thing can in fact be manipulated for really sinister purposes, but that doesn't make the thing bad. That makes the people wielding it bad. It's like the whole argument from your rednecks out there who are like, guns don't people. And sure, like I get it. I'm not here to try to have that discussion. Those guys just it would be better if you said that in a gay accent. All those overly like those men trying to make it for the fact that they have tiny dicks. Support the concept, but don't be so stereotypical. Come on and be like, you know what? Boys and girls, I just wanted everybody to know that guns don't people. And girlfriend, let me tell ya, if you are worried about stuff, like that's the way to put that argument out there. Anyway, I feel like the thing they're doing with Enoch is kind of the same concept. Like we're going full on scorched earth with this thing that's not bad. Like you can't say the thing itself is bad. Perhaps it's being manipulated for bad purposes.
Sure,
but you can't use that to say the thing itself is bad. It's bad logic.
Yeah.
And it's not actual truth.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And, you're the pointing to, the enemy using scripture to try and tempt Jesus is a good example. It's like anything can kind of be manipulated. And with the concept of like the cover to cover, like leather canonical Bible is like that gets manipulated a lot. It gets manipulated a lot to take the stories of First Enoch, take the stories of books like Jubilees and a lot of these like, extra canonical texts that early Christians were studying.
Yeah.
Right. To kind of keep them out and just keep people in this like constant cycle that has essentially been going on since the beginning of the church. Of like what is like authoritative scripture, and is like they're not looking to the Creator, looking to God for that. Is they're looking to men, right? They're looking to the authority of men to make that decision, and it's like you're just getting nowhere, right? And like this, you get to that with this, and that's why it's like I don't really think it's healthy to engage with that.
100%. Like you make a really good point. It's like instead of using the thing you allege is the source of like all truth and good and love, you're using some hot Congress lady. Which, okay, side point, and we can move on shortly after this. But guys, I don't know if we're living in the golden age of America or if the world is breaking down. I think this may be more of a sign of what's with all the hot Congress people. Have you seen that? She's pretty hot for a Congress lady. Like she's pretty attractive. Freaking AOC's a terrible human being, probably a demon, but she's kind of hot. What happened to when these were like 85-year-old, essentially sandbags that they would just wheel onto the Congress floor? Yeah,
hot is definitely subjective.
Okay, still compare her to Congresswoman of old. She's hot.
Okay.
What's going on? Like seriously, like in all seriousness, what the hell is going on? It's the change from people like Lindsey Graham to some hot, ethnically ambiguous lady. I don't understand why that shift is happening, and I don't understand enough about what's going on to know whether or not I can be excited about it. I don't know what response to have. It kind of makes me uncomfortable. I feel like at least all the old people all the like geriatric Congress people at least let me know nothing real was ever going to happen, you know? And I kind of miss that. And I feel like they tried harder to lie to me when it was all, you know, people like Laura Bush talking to us, you know, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton. Like, these are the kind of people these are the kind of demons I'm comfortable with. It's like a better the devil you know type deal. Like, yes, I understand, you know, Uncle Timmy who touches me every family reunion is bad. He's not safe. But I'd rather him than the strange man with a mustache at the trucker stop because I know how long Uncle Timmy's pinky is, and I'm comfortable with that. I've gotten used to it. I don't understand what's going to happen with these new strange people. It's scary. I'm not sure my beehole pucker's ready to handle that. And that's kind of the way I approach these hot Congress people. They make me wonder.
You know, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, it's probably actually how they're pulling off this exact narrative is they're getting people like, you know, you talk about like the older, like the Hillary Clintons and Nancy Pelosi's, like they're obviously like a lot more in on the game, right? Yeah. It's kind of clear by the way that they've behaved over the past, you know, 70 years. Like they're in on the game, right? I think a lot of these newer people aren't necessarily in on the game. They're just models and useful idiots, right? So they're just easy. They're just easy to manipulate. Yeah. Like these people are living in just the materialistic world, right? And so they get seeded stuff, like I said earlier, that they don't understand, and then they can just be manipulated by the people who are in on the game to put out whatever narrative they want. And it's easier for people like who might start to see it, like the people who are starting to see through the bullshit of like, you know, Nancy Pelosi. They won't necessarily see through this because this comes as an appearance of truth, right? This comes as an appearance of like critical thinking of like honest people trying to do, you know, honest work. And it's easier to kind of fall into that trap, you know?
Yeah. Get somebody who believes the lie to sell it. They don't have to sell.
Right.
They're not selling. They're just being honest. And that's way more palatable than somebody who knows they're lying and is still faking it. That's a good point. Yeah. That's a really good point. Can't argue with you. She's way too hot to be in on it. I'm just saying. She's way too hot to be in on it. That's my thought. There's a certain threshold level of attractiveness that means you're probably not in the Illuminati. You're just hot.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's true. But anyway, let's talk about... John, have you seen Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, a long time ago, but yeah.
Okay. So Pulp Fiction is experiencing a resurgence in popularity because our Secretary of War, yes, I said Secretary of War, Mr. Pete Hegseth, decided to share a passage of scripture and to characterize the situation exactly. He shared a prayer from some like infantry unit. I don't even understand. Go ahead and play this clip, John. I don't even know what kind of military people or operation he's talking about.
To a prayer that I'll read, which was also handed to me a couple of days ago, delivered from the lead mission planner of Sandy 1. Sandy 1 were the A-10s that were a part of the daylight rescue mission of 44 Alpha, Dude 44 Alpha out of Iran.
Is he just making up letters and
to bring those A-10s?
The ATSTs got together with the droid army and pulled all the Jedi out of the sand battle of Hoth. Like, what the f*** is he talking about?
That's exactly what they did. So this prayer was recited by Sandy 1, which is one of the Sandys, to all Sandys.
All of the now I know it's one of the Sandys. Thank you, Pete Hegseth.
CSAR missions, but especially this CSAR mission that happened in real time.
Now we're talking about CSARs.
They call it CSAR 2517, which I think is meant to reflect Ezekiel 25:17. So the prayer is CSAR 25:17, and it reads, and pray with me, please. The path of the downed aviator is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who, in the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherd the lost through the valley of darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to capture and destroy my brother. And you will know my call sign is Sandy 1 when I lay my vengeance upon thee. And amen.
Like, okay, so I imagine you just pulled up that that verse from Ezekiel.
Yeah.
But go ahead and switch over to that next video, because I linked the scene from Pulp Fiction where Samuel L. Jackson is quoting it, and then we'll actually look at the.
I can't freaking play that on YouTube, dude.
What the hell? Why not? It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll probably still get hit with copyright because it's like, what's the channel? Who owns it?
I don't know. We'll take it out in the re-release. It's fine.
Okay. This might be okay. We'll see.
Intentions, really. I never
skip ahead like half-ish way. Where you see that spike, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. Well, there's this passage I got memorized. Sort of fits this occasion. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Oh, jeez. I forgot how good that movie was. Son of a... The big question, though, is that blasphemous? Go ahead and pull up that verse, John. Like, that is not a direct quote at all from Ezekiel. Like, even remotely. Somebody made some shit up.
Yeah, I mean, the context of it, it's, God's talking to the Philistines, but at the end of that, like, that is a quote. It's like, I will execute great vengeance on them with wrathful rebukes. Then they will know that I am the Lord, or they will know that I am Yahweh when I lay my vengeance upon them. But obviously, he's none of what he said beforehand is obviously not a part of that. After. Just the end of that. Just the end of that. So it's hilarious that he.
Then Pete Hegseth quotes a fictional, like, he quotes some like aviator's prayer set from a fictional verse from a fictional movie that he thinks is actual. Like, what kind of weird blasphemeception is going on here? Like, I don't understand the purpose behind putting surely he can't be that fully, like, he cannot be that much of an ignoramus to think he's going to be able to come out and quote Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction and get away with it. Has he been that like sequestered from society for how old is he? Like 50?
Yeah.
To have there's no possible. His speechwriters had to realize what was going on.
Yeah.
Was it a clone? Just a fully clone?
Yeah, I don't know. He's right. It was definitely not done by accident. Any time that they, even feign to quote any type of scripture, it's not done on accident. It's like, I mean, let's just say, right, give him the benefit of the doubt that he was actually quoting just Ezekiel 17, thinking that, because that's actually the last part of it is actually a quote from the Bible. Yeah. Obviously taken out of complete context. Right. But like,
which I like. I think it's fun.
I mean, how, like, and I don't understand how any type of like Christian can get on board. Like, how blasphemous is that? Is that you're attributing like that God is acting on behalf of you, or is like on your side, like going to like slay your enemies?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, dude, that's what the entire that entire establishment does.
Yeah. Like that's kind of crazy. Right. To begin with. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, and just quoting like their entire type of militarism, like they're just straight up admitting that this is, a religious war.
Yeah.
Right. They're straight up admitting that. And like, you just have to ask them, it's like, okay, well, what God are you fighting for? Because
that's a good point. Maybe
it's not
that's
the God
just
of the Bible.
Maybe that's just the full on admission that, hey, this is a religious war. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Like I don't know, but like
I like
like-
the fact that Pulp Fiction's experiencing a
yeah,
resurgence.
yeah,
I think that's fun.
and like my brain, like I like to think it's just like he's a and just thought that this Pulp Fiction quote was actually all in the Bible. You know, I like to think that, but it's like
a lot of
he's
people
right.
do.
Yeah, like he's right though. Like they don't do this on accident. It's like, and I've said it time and time again. Like these people aren't stupid. Like they're very intentional about the language that they use. They're very intentional about the stuff that they put out there. And if you see it, it's probably there for a purpose. And like, right, their purpose is probably not the purpose that you ascribe to it. Because it's like they exist in a different reality than what is reality. So I don't know, but that's just freaking wild.
Yeah. When was the last time somebody quoted Samuel L. Jackson from a government pulpit? Can you imagine if you heard that in church on a Sunday morning? You know, your preacher gets up there and fellas, brothers and sisters from the book of Pulp Fiction, we're going to like, what the hell? It's just so unexpected, you know? It's nice when it's like when your spouse brings you flowers and you weren't expecting it, you know? I feel like that's what that was. Granted, it was fully. And speaking of fully, there's a new thing we're going to try starting to end the show with just things and concepts that I feel like are fully. Like in that scene in Tropic Thunder. You seen Tropic Thunder, John?
No.
Talking a lot about movies tonight.
No.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Well, Robert Downey Jr., who this is the last free movie where Robert Downey Jr. puts on blackface and pretends to be a method actor in the movie who's portraying a black person, so he literally lives in blackface.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's where the okay.
Yeah.
I've seen some scenes from it.
Yeah, he looks at Ben Stiller. He's like, never go full retard.
Yeah.
And I feel like there are a lot of things out there that are completely and fully, and that's what we're going to start ending on. Things like quadruple amputees rolling around on the floor. Things like Down syndrome people yelling "Beckfist." You know, like these are also some that may be a little more serious. So go on to this next article. This is one you put in the Twitter doc, John. People in the UK, the alleged government powers that be in the UK, are trying to ban smoking for people born after 2008. They're trying to put together a bill that says if you were born after 2008, we can no longer sell you cigarettes, period, as a way to try to end, I guess, like smoking in the United Kingdom. I don't really know, but it just shocks me that things like this continue to be a part of the kind of narrative they seem to be pushing on the masses. But even more than that, it shocks me the kind of argumentation they use. And I can't get through the damn article now because they're locking me out of it. So I can't find the passages I was looking for. But essentially, they're saying in an effort to stop people from smoking, we're going to make it like illegal, and that prevention is worth, and like a pound of prevention is worth an ounce of cure, or maybe vice versa. Sorry, ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so, like, maybe if we just try to enforce these preventative measures, then perhaps people will be healthier and will spend less on health care. Meanwhile, they're literally shoveling sugar and processed foods down these fat fucks' mouths. But don't you dare smoke a cigarette. This is the kind of just completely, fully twist on like actual on healthcare that we're continually starting to see. Like we covered the whole clinical suicide essentially from Spain last week. This is just more of the same. Like we're going to tell you can't do something, strip away your freedoms, and we're going to call that thing healthcare. If you want to go out and suck on a cancer stick till you cough and have a heart attack, that is totally up to you. Same way if you want to go jump off a damn bridge It's your right. If you want to go eat a gallon of ice cream, be my guest. Should you? Probably not. But is it anybody else's business what you're doing? No. And I think we can all agree, men, women, in-betweens, smoking makes you look cool. All right? We can all agree on that fact. We all learned that in elementary school. Smoking makes you look cool. Have a little cigarette between your... like, smoking makes you look cool. They're trying to make people look like over there. And it does make me wonder, like, what's going on with cigarettes that they don't want people engaging with? You know, for me, cigarettes represent like one of the last bastions of people just doing whatever the hell they wanted, waking up in the morning, and instead of coffee and an orange, real men used to light up a cigarette and go take a shit like a real man, and then they'd slap their wife on the ass as they left the house. That used to be America. Lighting a cigarette in the morning, slapping your wife on the ass as you left the house, getting by your boss all day, and then going home to beat your kids. That used to be America. That used to be freedom. There are middle-aged women I work with who live for the 10 minutes they get to walk outside and suck on a cigarette and kill their lungs and enjoy 10 minutes of hollow ecstasy away from all the Karens in the building. It is the last bastion of freedom any of us experience anymore, and they're trying to take that away from the Europeans. It also makes me wonder what's going on with nicotine, because they seem to be pushing that a lot in some weird ways, like all the nicotine pouches. They seem to be really pushing that on people. With the other hand, they're saying it's bad for you. I don't know what to think about that. It is like a neural stimulant. But I don't know. John, are you considering smoking now that you've seen this article? Because I am. I'm thinking about picking up cigarettes.
No, I mean, not at all.
Well, you're a bit.
Well, the problem with this is, they're trying to take like the common law, like moral regulation of actual communities and like centralize it into some like demonic system. So it's like that's what they do with kind of all of this stuff, and like people will get behind it because it's like they think that's what that is, and it doesn't work that way. It's like it's like if you're in like kind of actual like self-sustaining communities of people who are just like trying to get through life together, it's like there's behaviors that you're not going to allow, right? And it's like if you want to be a part of that, it's perfectly reasonable to like say it's like you're not going to do these things, right? And like this is just one of those inversions to where it's like like the corporate kind of legal system tries to take that and like masquerade as that type of just communal system and trying to do all of this like morality legislation. It just doesn't work, in that context. But it tries to imitate that context, and that's what gets particularly right wingers to kind of buy into it,
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Like you can chop your cock off and go hang out in the bathroom with a bunch of underage girls, but we don't want you smoking a cigarette 10 feet outside of an airport.
Right. It's all like all of this. All of this is just completely that, that's a good point there too, is like they always make these like logical contradictions.
Yeah.
We're
okay having a 6'2", 240-pound man in the bathroom with your daughter, but don't you dare light up a cigar on a restaurant patio, because then you're a bad person.
Yeah. But there's a class of people who will be like, these people are fighting for the health of people. Right?
They are.
These people are, good, just altruistic people doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And will completely ignore the blatant logical contradiction that you pointed out,
Well, let me tell you, people are worried about people's health in this country, all right? And even over there in Europe, where their teeth are falling apart, they're concerned about the health of their population because they see it starting to decline. And one of the things you can do if you're trying to make people healthier is to treat those fat fucks like the cattle they are. Those sons of bitches are nothing but chattel. They're things on a shell. We lost the thread of that. Anyway, fully
going with that.
So moving on. Last thing I want to talk about. I don't even know how to introduce this. So
your tagline on the Google Doc is freaking hilarious.
Have you ever watched somebody like rob a liquor store and then they come back and they get caught? You know, have you ever seen somebody? I don't know. Maybe they murder somebody. They flee the scene, and then weeks later, they come back to the scene of the crime to try to survey their deeds, and you know the cops finally catch him, and it's this whole news story. And you wonder, like, why the fuck are they going back there? It seems a little strange. It seems a little odd that they're showing up back at the place where it all started. You know? Or have you ever seen one of those fun, like, high school reunion scenes where, like, these people have been friends for years and years. They've been besties, and they have all these photos at the gazebo outside the high school building because that's where it all started. We have all these photos with each other, and it's such a great communal experience. And then they go back 20 years later, their 20-year reunion, and everybody takes a photo at the gazebo because that's where it all started. Well, guys, this is the same version of that, but for all right? So they're having the largest pride festival in the Middle East is happening on the banks of the Dead Sea in whatever city this is, Israel. And they're very proud of it, okay? The blue-starred people are very proud of it. And guys, if you're not familiar with the geography of Israel, the Dead Sea is historically where Sodom and Gomorrah were. And if you don't know what Sodom and Gomorrah were famous for, let me help you out. It was butt.
Jeez.
And so we're finally this is a terrible metaphor. It's all the prodigal son's returning home. Finally they're returning to the scene of the crime. They're going back to their roots. They've had enough spreading out through the world, through America and everywhere else. They're coming home. They're bringing their boys home. Okay, they've been out spreading the word, spreading diseases, spreading AIDS, and they're bringing their boys home to where it all started. Okay, this is the homecoming of the millennium, and it's all happening in Israel. It's all happening in Israel. Just a bunch of out there in salty water. Can you think of a more disgusting scene than a bunch of just beefy gay dudes hanging out in some salty seawater? Sign me up, fellas. Yes. I know what else is salty, big boy. Yes. Give me that fire and brimstone. Yeah. Show you my twin cities if you want. Want to see my twin towers, big fella? You want to take a look at my iron dome? You want to puncture my iron dome? So that's what's going on, guys, at the homecoming of the century. So be sure to stock up on lube and tune in. I know I won't be. And so with that, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. We've had a blast. Folks, if you like the show, enjoy the show, go check us out on all the audio platforms. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Amazon, whatever Amazon's version of those is. Go like the stream. Follow the channel. We're on YouTube at the Veritas Road, Rumble at the Veritas Road. And follow us on all the social medias, on the Instagrams, and the Twitters, and all the social medias with the Veritas Road everywhere except for Twitter. We're at the Veritas Road Pod. If you enjoy the show, also go check out the page. John, play this video while we're in this. I love this. Play this video while we're in the show. Good, well done, sir. You enjoy the show, go and want more of the show, go check out the Patreon. You can get in where you fit in over there, /Veritas Road. So patreon.com/Veritas Road is where you can find that. We've got plenty of tiers there.
Corner.
Oh yeah, I forget about that literally every time. You can scan the QR code at the top left corner and it'll take you directly to the Patreon on your mobile device. So go check that out. A bunch of tiers there. You can get in where you fit in. And be sure to tune in every Tuesday at 7 for Touch Me Tuesdays. We do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. And then we have a show coming up with the Berean Files on Monday, May 18th at 7 p.m. And I don't know if that's live or if it's getting released later. I will let you guys know when I find out. I'm terrible at messaging. I literally just messaged him back after like 5 days today because and those are not things I think about. So, guys, thanks for listening tonight, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.